Nation, what's going on? It's Mitchell Renz here, host of the Raiders Board, and it's mailbag time. If you're not watching our Thursday night live shows, what the hell else are you doing? Hit that subscribe button, turn on those notifications, and let me know that y'all are rocking with us on the most important day. Let's go to the first question on today's mailbag. Every question that you see is from Thursday Night Football, and it's from all of our subscribers here on the show. I'm worried that Sanders' hype is going to be tampering. There's no doubt there's a lot of smoke around Shedeur coming to the silver and black, but I don't even know if it's going to matter if it is tampering or not. Deion wants Shedeur to play with Tom Brady. And I think Shedeur wants to play in an organization that's ran with Tom Brady. Those two have been working together for such a long time. And when you hear the philosophy of what Deion wants, where Shedeur goes, it sounds exactly what Tom Brady's been saying for months at this point of, you might have to sit him for a year, let him build his confidence, let him get acclimated, not going to rush it, and he wants somebody that's had some success. Tom Brady, as far as I'm concerned, has had a lot of success. So even if it would be tampering, I really do think that no matter what, Shedeur is going to be a Raider. Let's go to Big Luck. How did you feel after Turner's presser today? I mean, I like what he said. My favorite thing that Turner said was like when he asked his dad, Norv, to join the Raiders, and Norv was just like, don't tell your mom, right? Like, that's such an honest thing to say. I am excited to see what Scott Turner looks like, but I'm also excited to see Scott Turner just because of how bad Luke Getsy was. So it could change quick, right? Like, if the offense is bad yet again, but I actually do hope that the Raiders offense comes out and they play like they have absolutely, positively nothing to lose, because they don't. And Antonio Pierce said it. You're 2-7. You got nothing to lose. Let's go to that man. I do not want to see Tua get put down by the Raiders, but it was his choice, right? I don't want to see Tua get put down either, which I don't even know how this got through. I'll say this. Like, I want the Raiders to obviously do their best, and I want them to go out there and I want them to compete. I will say managing the speed of Jalen Waddle and managing the speed of Tyreek Hill is going to be a challenge, especially if Nate Hobbs is unable to go. He's missed practice back-to-back days at the time that I'm recording this video, and it might be putting a lot of stress on Jacorian and Jack Jones. But Tua's getting paid millions and millions and millions of dollars, and you're a veteran yourself, and I bet you this, you've done you've been through way worse experiences and got paid a lot less. I will never feel bad for an NFL player for putting their body on the line because they're making millions of dollars. And you can say whatever you want to me. I can handle it. Jordan, hear me out. It's reports Cowboys will trade their first-round pick for multiple picks. If we have the first pick and the Cowboys have the fifth pick, we pick Travis first, then trade to the Cowboys for their fifth pick and take Shedeur. That's a terrible idea. I'm not going to lie to you, Jordan. If you do that trade, people would it would be one of the worst trades in NFL history. And the only reason why that I say that is because, like, your thought process is right, I think, in terms of taking the best player available. And a lot of people think Travis Hunter's the best player in this draft. But if all you did was swap your first and your fifth, like, to move up from 5 to 1, the Cowboys should give you 2, maybe 3 first-round picks to go up to the number 1 overall pick. When you have the number 1 pick, you can make unbelievable trades because of the value, the worth of it. What you have here, again, it's a good idea, but it's like you could get $100 and somebody handed you 5 and you're like, I'll take it. Let's go to Mando. Mitch, if we draft Sanders, will you offer T. Higgins a contract or save the money for other positions? Again, it depends on what the Raiders do in terms of bringing certain guys back. I like T. Higgins, and I know the Raiders like T. Higgins as well. He's definitely a player to keep in mind. I've had a lot of people asking me questions about Jamar Chase. Jamar Chase ain't going anywhere. Jamar Chase is going to stay in Cincinnati. The Joe Burrow, he's going to find out a way to make sure that Cincinnati ends up pays him. But for T. Higgins, he's not going to be back. And Higgins' mentality matches what Antonio Pierce wants. And based on a lot of the things that I've heard over the past week and a half, it does sound like AP is going to be back no matter what next season. So Higgins is definitely somebody to keep in mind at $27 million. I would also, though, still like to be able to draft a wide receiver in our top 4 picks this season, because we do have 4 picks in the top 3 rounds. Let's go to Scoop. What up, Scoop? Mitch, did you see Schefter? I almost thought that said Scheffler. John said Deion could come to the Raiders to coach Shedeur. Did I see what you're talking about? Yes. He didn't exactly say what you're saying. So essentially, he talked about the idea of, like, it's a possibility that Deion wants to coach Shedeur in the NFL, which it is a possibility. Jordan Schultz also said that there's no official, like, conversations being had about Shedeur coming to the NFL, which the key word there is official, because there have been conversations about Shedeur coming to the NFL, or Deion coming to the NFL. I don't think it's going to happen personally, but yes, Schefter talked about the idea of Deion and Shedeur being a package deal, and you can say what you want about Deion coming to the Raiders here and there. I'll give you my opinion on what you're asking. Give me a yes, give me a no. This is going to be the pinned comment here on today's show. Would you want Deion Sanders to be the Raiders head coach? Let me know in the comments. If it was just Deion to be the Raiders head coach, to be honest, I don't love that idea because I think Deion's going to struggle in the National Football League. I think he's more built to be a college coach. However, though, if you told me that we are guaranteed to get Shedeur Sanders if Deion is our head coach, I'm interested in that then, right? Like, we need a franchise quarterback. Not only do we need a franchise quarterback, though, it's going to be very important for Deion, for probably AP next season, to hire the right OC. You can see what Jaden Daniels looks like with Cliff Kingsbury. You can also know when you hire Luke Getz that this offense was going to stink, especially with the quarterback play that we have, because OC, the play caller, it matters so much in the National Football League. So if we have Shedeur Sanders, if we have Cam Ward, if you hire another guy like Luke Getsy, our offense is still going to suck. We got to hire the right coordinators, the right guys to call the plays. Are you a real one? If you are, hit that subscribe button. Turn on those notifications. If you don't know what a real one is, probably not a real one, right? If I got to tell you what a real one is, then you don't know. Think of it as like when you go to Vegas. Have you ever had secret pizza? Have you ever had it? If you have, let me know. If you've never had secret pizza in Las Vegas, then you don't know. But it's the best pizza spot in all of Las Vegas. I also want to give a shout out to the Noti gang here. What up, Rory? What up, DJ Loaded, Mad Vet Raider, and then ED. Seriously, from the bottom of my heart, I appreciate the fact that you guys are subscribed, that you take pride in trying to be one of the very first people to comment on our videos here. It does mean a lot. It does help us grow. Let's go to Joe or Isaac. Will AP be forced to draft Sanders regardless if he wants him or not? If Antonio Pierce says, I don't want Shedeur Sanders, Antonio Pierce will not be the Raiders head coach. And the thing with this is that's not going to happen, because I think a lot of us are going to sit up here and go, AP is going to be able to keep his head coaching job because of his relationship with Deion, with Shedeur. If Shedeur and Deion weren't in the equation, I don't think that Antonio Pierce would be able to retain his job. One of the things that's really going to help out AP, and I'll go into a little bit more detail next week, is AP, based on conversations that I've heard, has done a good job, and he deserves credit for this, of saying, when you look at the offense that I tried to create, Jaden Daniels, Cliff Kingsbury, that's what I wanted, and it's succeeding. Because I was unable to get the quarterback that I want, I was unable to get the offensive coordinator that I want. His pitch right now to the Raiders is, I can get Shedeur here. And it sounds like Shedeur wants to come to the Raiders as well. Obviously, a lot of different stuff can happen. But if AP says, hey, see what I did with Jaden? I'm going to try to do that with Shedeur. That's kind of the pitch right here. And I think Shedeur is the way that AP is going to be able to keep his job. So that's why I don't think AP is going anywhere. Again, I'll go into more detail next week. I also want to get into some details here on our sponsor, PrizePicks. I love PrizePicks. They've been putting money in my pocket all season long, and they can put some money in your pocket as well. You can now win up to 100 times your money on PrizePicks with as little as 4 correct picks. Download the app today. Use code CLNS to get $50 instantly after you play your first $5 lineup. Sign up today, get $50 instantly when you play $5. You don't even need to win to receive the $50 bonus. It's guaranteed. PrizePicks now offers Venmo for quick and easy deposits and withdrawals into your account this sports season. Prize Picks is the best way to win real money this football season. Which players are going off, which ones aren't. Make your picks in as little as 60 seconds and turn your sports opinions into real money all season long. Prize Picks, run your game. So for this week, Brock Bowers, 5.5 receptions. Are you going more? Are you going less? They're going up against a tough Miami Dolphins team that has not given up too much to the tight end position this season. I want to say that they are the 9th best team in the NFL of receptions against the tight end position. However, though, if I'm Scott Turner and I want to say I want to be able to keep my job, because every interim offensive coordinator goes, I want to become the full-time guy, right? That's what AP did. If you can't figure out a way to get Brock Bowers the ball, you're not going to be an OC in the NFL. So you know what? I'm going to take the more on the Brock Bowers 5.5 receptions. Prize Picks, that link's available in the comments. It's available to you in the description as well. Shout out to them for sponsoring the Raiders Report. Easy daily fantasy sports. Love it, love it, love it. You know what else I love? Patrick! Bang! One of the OGs from the Silver and Black Hills. Patrick, I've missed you. I'll tell you what a real one is. A real one is somebody who never, ever roots against the Raiders. Screw draft position. It guarantees nothing. If you're a real one, you root for the win every time, or you can get the hell out of my nation. Vedrak, I'll salute to that, man. I respect your opinion, and I respect what you said, and I am a believer that good karma brings good things into the world. My only thing that I will say to this, though, is let's say it's Week 18. Week 18. And the Raiders are a loss away from locking in the number 1 pick. If they win, let's say they get the number 5 pick. I will never want the Raiders to lose. But I could make an argument to you that if they lose, they actually win in the long run. Like, a loss for the Raiders can change their franchise for years down the road. Let's say they have the number 1 pick. Let's say the Raiders have the number 1 pick, and they know that they're going to get Shedeur Sanders. They know it. They go, I don't care if we got the number 1 pick. I don't care if we got the number 5 pick. I don't care if we got the number 10 pick. Shedeur Sanders is going to be a Raider because Deion wants him to come to Las Vegas. So if you know that, and you have the number 1 overall pick, and you go, it's open for business, the amount of teams that are going to give you a lot of draft capital for this season, next season, hell, maybe even years down the road, I think it sets you up in such a position that can change your franchise. And I hear you, man. Like, I really, really do. But I do think of cheering for the Raiders to lose in a game is tough. But cheering for them to win in the, like, going forward is what I want. But I respect your opinion, Ventrack. I hope that you know that, man. And I think a lot of people agree with what you're saying. I think a lot of the people agree with me. And the bottom line is this season sucks, and we want to be able to figure out a way to just win, baby. Let's go to Jordan Lumpkin. Mitch, I'm saying we would get Travis and Shedeur. When I said trade, I meant future draft picks for the Cowboys 5th. Plus, we have our first-round pick. So you're talking about this one that you had this with the first and the 5th. So he's saying you take Travis at number 1, and then you trade to get Shedeur. I was just going to say, like, I kind of agree here with Chugs, where he said in the background, he goes, you take the quarterback first, and you take the quarterback first because he's the quarterback, where Travis Hunter is an unbelievable talent. If you put Travis Hunter on this Raiders team, they're better, but they're still, like, they're not that much better. I mean, we've seen it. Like, you need a franchise quarterback. Deion, though, has also said that just like Shedeur, he's going to, in the background, tell which teams can draft Travis or not. And Deion's going to have the weight of that. NFL teams are going to know. There's going to be NFL teams, I guarantee you this, that don't even put Shedeur or Travis Hunter on their big board. Why? Because Deion's going to tell them. Like the Cleveland Browns, I'll tell you this right now. If the Cleveland Browns have the number 1 overall pick, Deion's going to go, you better not take Travis, you better not take Shedeur, because you're going to have to trade him away. There's going to be certain organizations. The Jags, I think another team, not going to go there. Tennessee Titans, not going to go there. He's going to make sure that those players go to teams that's got big markets. And when I say big markets, I'm talking Raiders, Niners, Steelers, Cowboys, they want the publicity. They want the marketing. They want the dollars, and Deion's one of the best, if not one of the greatest to ever do it in terms of the football business. He's got prime time after all. Let's go to Adrian. What up, man? I think this is Minich. Good to see y'all. Have the number 1 pick. Does Davis still go for Shedeur or Ward? It's Shedeur. And it's going to be Shedeur, even if the Raiders have the number 1 overall pick, because of Tom Brady, because of their relationship with Deion. And it's one of those things where, from what I understand, it's already the understanding of if the Raiders have the number 1 pick, it's Shedeur Sanders. And if the odds come out and it's Cam Ward's way higher than Shedeur, you go put your money. You go put your money on Shedeur going number 1 overall. All right, I want this question right now because I want to hear what you guys have to say. Kind of Venthrak said this earlier. Type W for win. Type L for lose. Should we root for the Raiders to lose against the Dolphins because it helps us get the number 1 overall pick? Type W for win. Type L for lose. Let me know what you got to say. What up, Venthrak? Mitch, 2 words. Jamarcus Russell. I hear you. Here's the thing, though. Shedeur Sanders is not Jamarcus Russell. Cam Ward is not Jamarcus Russell. Anybody that's comparing those 2 quarterbacks to Jamarcus Russell is only comparing them, and somebody got mad at me for saying this before, but it's true. It's because they're black. Right? I'm not kidding you. Like, the only comparison that they have is that they are black quarterbacks. Shedeur Sanders loves football. Shedeur Sanders puts in so much time, effort, and he really concentrates on getting better and better and better and better. Like, I want to be able to go get a guy. Like, Shedeur loves football like the way Max Crosby loves football. And I know that he's got a lot of other bullshit going on in the background, and I hear you, I get it. But, like, you want a guy that loves it, breathes it, can't live without it. Jamarcus didn't care. Jamarcus got paid. He got $84 million in the bank. He got fat and he got lazy. It didn't matter. Then when you look at a guy like Cam Ward, exact same thing. Coaches say that this guy loves football. Jamarcus had talent. The problem was Jamarcus also didn't give a shit about football. And I think now that you're starting to see the more and more tape that comes out on guys, the more and more research that we get, you're not going to get a Jamarcus Russell situation where guys just don't care. The reason why contracts are not structured the way that they are anymore in the first round, it was because if you go draft number 1 overall, all that money was guaranteed. It was $84 million guaranteed in your pocket. Now for the number 1 overall pick, you get about like 40, which still great amount of money. But for a guy like Shedeur, he don't need money. His family's absolutely loaded. Let's go to swear to God. If the Raiders draft Shedeur, will he play right away? I don't think that he will. And this is where it's going to be interesting. Like, I think if the Raiders draft Shedeur Sanders number 1 overall, I don't think he plays next season. So I think for the Raiders, and one of the reasons why they haven't been giving out contract extensions, it's because they're saving up money to go get another quarterback. And I don't know who that QB is. Based on what I've heard, his name is in the video that I made earlier in the week. So go out and check that one out. But I think even if they draft him number 1 overall, because of Tom Brady's philosophy with QBs, because of what Deion wants for Shedeur, even if he goes number 1, I don't think he plays in year 1, man. If I didn't get to your question, I apologize. Blame Chugs. You can always hit me up on IG or on Twitter at Mitchell Renz 365. If you don't have your drinking pants on a Thursday night, then you're just going to be left without your pants because those are the only pants that you need to have. Oh, boy. That burp was from deep, deep within. Make sure you pull up on Sunday. Raiders watch parties always hit different, especially when the nation shows up. And I need you from the bottom of my heart. I need y'all to show up.